In the pale quiet of dawn over Istanbul, 1623, a story unfolded, one that never reached the glittering pages of imperial chronicles. Some say that morning a scream pierced the marble corridors of Topkapi Palace, not from battle, but from the trembling throat of a girl barely 15. She was Princess Fatima Sultan, daughter of one of the most powerful rulers on earth. Witnesses whispered that her cries, a desperate blend of fear and pleading, echoed through the golden halls until even the eunuchs, hardened keepers of the harem, turned away in silence. Whether truth or legend, this was said to be the hidden price every daughter of the Sultan paid upon reaching marriageable age. A ritual etched not in royal records, but in rumor, in scars upon skin and soul alike. The official histories remain silent, but palace whispers tell of a ceremony that broke the mind long before it touched the body, a ritual meant to prepare imperial brides for a life of obedience and control. Beneath the splendor of silk and song, behind the perfumed gardens and jeweled gates, lay something darker, a secret so cruel that no European monarch would have wished it upon his own child. For centuries, storytellers repeated the rumor that the Ottomans had perfected a ritual of submission disguised as sacred duty to crush the spirits of royal daughters before their weddings. Whether fiction or truth, the whispers endured because the palace itself was built upon both glory and fear. The Ottoman Empire, vast as an endless ocean, ruled for over 600 years. From 1299 until its final collapse in 1922, it spanned 3 continents: Europe, Asia, and Africa. Its armies feared from Vienna to Yemen. The conquest of Constantinople in 1453 didn't just end Byzantium, it transformed the world. And at its heart stood Topkapi Palace, a city within walls, where wars, marriages, and assassinations were planned beside fountains and gardens. Within it lay the imperial harem, home to more than 800 women, bound by discipline and silence. From the 1530s onward, when Suleiman the Magnificent gave his wife Hurrem Sultan unprecedented authority, the harem became more than a pleasure ground. It became a theater of politics, a court of secret queens. Most of its women were slaves, taken in wars or bought in distant markets, each dreaming that the Sultan's gaze might raise her from bondage to power. And some did rise: Hurrem Sultan, Kosem Sultan, Turhan Hatice, women who ruled the empire from behind veiled doors. But the Sultan's daughters, like Fatima, were bound more tightly than any slave. Born into privilege, yet denied freedom, their marriages were tools of politics, not love. Fatima Sultan, born in 1606, was the daughter of Sultan Ahmed I and the formidable Qasim Sultan, one of the most influential women in Ottoman history. Her childhood bloomed among fountains and courtyards filled with poets and scholars. She was a prodigy, fluent in 4 languages, a calligrapher, a poet, and a student of astronomy and law. Chroniclers described her as a diamond of intellect and grace. But brilliance could not protect her. From birth, her fate had been sealed, to be married off for politics, not passion. Her groom was Kara Mustafa Pasha, a seasoned general 20 years her senior, a man who saw marriage not as love, but as advancement. For him, she was a bridge to power. For her, he was the end of freedom. Before the wedding, Fatima was subjected to a ritual known as Terbiye-i Mubarak, the blessed training. But its blessing was illusion. Those who whispered of it called it a ceremony of obedience, meant to break a princess's pride before her wedding night. An aging attendant named Gülnar Hatun oversaw every movement. Fatima learned to bow at perfect angles, to walk in measured steps, to speak only in phrases of apology and gratitude. Mistakes brought punishment, fasting, confinement, silence. Some accounts claim there were even rehearsals using wax mannequins crafted by Venetian artisans to teach gestures no child should know. Whether true or myth, the effect was the same. Fatima's will was crushed. She was forced to serve her father's concubines, washing, dressing, and bowing before them. Each act a reminder that she was beneath even her father's mistresses. Her final weeks were spent in isolation at the Helva Pavilion, where every bite, sip, and breath was controlled. She was fed only honey, milk, and pomegranates, bathed in oils of poppy and valerian, a preparation meant to make her pure, but truly to make her docile. Mirrors surrounded her so she could never escape her reflection. Even her prayers were rewritten, replacing worship of God with devotion to her husband-to-be. By the end, her voice was gone. The girl who once spoke with poets now spoke to no one. On March 15, 1623, the empire celebrated. Trumpets blared, drums thundered, and the streets of Istanbul glittered with gold and silk. To the people, it was a royal triumph. To Fatima, it was a funeral of the soul. She trembled through the ceremonies, her lips cracked, her pulse erratic. Physicians noted her melancholy of virgins, what we would now call trauma and panic. As the sun set, she was led to the bridal pavilion, its walls hung with tapestries of conquest, a symbolic reminder that this union, too, was an act of domination. She was bathed in rosewater, anointed with perfumed oils, and dressed in a gown so heavy with pearls it seemed meant to imprison her. Rumors said drops of opium had been added to her elixirs to quiet her will. That night, the attendants waited beyond the chamber doors, ensuring the ritual was completed. When morning came, Fatima was silent. Her eyes no longer shone. In the years that followed, she became a living ghost. Physicians recorded fainting, muteness, and sudden fits of weeping. Books gathered dust. Instruments fell silent. Even Kara Mustafa Pasha, her husband, withdrew, escaping into military campaigns and opium, haunted by what their marriage had become. Fatima lived on for nearly 30 years, her body alive, but her spirit long gone. When she died in 1652, palace doctors called it a fever of the brain. But those who knew her whispered the truth, that she had died decades earlier, the night her will was taken. Fatima's story was not unique. Across the archives, there are faint traces of other princesses, women erased from history, their fates reduced to polite euphemisms, illness, withdrawal, melancholy. Some embroidered secret messages into their garments, some begged for divorce, others simply disappeared. Their silence was the foundation upon which empires stood. Behind the gold and glory, the Ottoman palace was not only a stage of power, but also a graveyard of voices. The story of Fatima Sultan reminds us that history often praises the conquerors, but forgets those conquered within their own walls. If this story unsettles you, it should, because behind every empire, Ottoman, European, or otherwise, there were women like Fatima, silenced and unseen. To uncover more of their buried voices, subscribe and join us as we bring forgotten queens, princesses, and captives back into the light. Only by lifting the veil of myth can we finally hear their truth.